Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. We're going to be talking about Janelle Evans and her son, Jace Evans. As we all know, Jace, this has been an ongoing issue, for years, especially in the time that Janelle got custody back of her son, Jace, in, I think it was like 2023. Janelle got pregnant at 16. She appeared on 16 and Pregnant, went on to appear on Teen Mom. Her son, Jace, for the first 14 years of his life, lived with his grandmother, Barbara. However, in 2023, Janelle regained custody of Jace after Barbara decided to sign him back over to his mother. This was not a case of where Janelle went to court, proved that she was a capable parent to Jace. She did do that, actually. Janelle went to court several times throughout the years trying to regain custody of Jace, and a judge never went through with it. The judge never said, yes, you can regain custody of your son. The judge always sided with Barbara and always kept Jace in the custody of Barbara. But however, in 2023, Barbara, who is older in age, decided that it was time for Jace to go live with his mother. Janelle was still with David Eason, and it did not go well. Several times of him running away, the cops being called, him going back into Barbara's care, and going back into the custody of the state, CPS getting involved. After he was coming home from an inpatient hospital, Janelle did decide to kick David Eason out, which was one of the problems going on with Jace. Was him and David Eason did not get along, and there was some allegations of David abusing Jace. Allegations that I believe, because I've been told by firsthand people involved in the situation, that it was in fact that this did in fact happen. That David did get physical with Jace. Janelle moved to Vegas after her and David got a separation. She filed for separation. She moved to Vegas to start her life over. It all seemed to be going well at first. However, Jay started running away in Vegas, and his most recent runaway led Janelle to send him to live with his dad. So late April 2025, Jace ran away from his home that he shares with his mom in Vegas. He was reported missing, and the cops looked for him. And to my knowledge, they never found him, but he returned home a few days later. I want to say he left on a Sunday or a Monday, and he returned home on a Thursday. The very next day, Janelle sent Jace to live with his father, Andrew Lewis. Janelle and Andrew were together while she was pregnant, but right after she had Jace, Andrew disappeared. Disappeared, never to return again until Jace was 14 years old. Jace met his father Andrew for the first time since he was born. When he was 14 years old, this picture right here up on the screen is the first time Jace saw his dad. At a time in his life when he could comprehend that that he was seeing his dad. Obviously him seeing his dad the day that he was born doesn't really count because Jace has no memory of this. So this was the first time he saw his dad, and they hung out. They started trying to reconnect. They text here and there, video chatted here and there. And this was about 6 months prior, maybe. My timing can be off. This was a year to 6 months prior to Janelle sending Jace to live with his dad. So I think it was May 3rd, Janelle sent Jace to live with his dad in Florida. Well, less than 2 weeks later, we find out that Jace is no longer living with his dad, and he had returned to North Carolina, to the land, Janelle's property, and that he was staying on the land with some friends unsupervised. That was word on the curb. Janelle's never confirmed this. Not that I feel like she would confirm this, but it was said. And there is some evidence to back this up. There was a 911 call. Janelle's mom, Barbara, was pulled over very close to the land, said she was going to her daughter's house to find a key. Janelle was in Vegas. This is around the time that Jace was allegedly back on the property. And we come to find out that it was a key to a dirt bike that she needed to go find. So I do think that Jace was staying at the property by himself, and he could not find the key to his dirt bike and called, his grandmother, "Can you come help me?" And she was on her way over there when she got pulled over. Now, that didn't last long either. Jace living on the land, allegedly unsupervised. He ended up back with Janelle in Las Vegas in late May 2025. Janelle has spoken about her decision to send Jace to live with his dad. While he was there, Janelle appeared on several YouTube channels. She did interviews. And in one in particular, she said that Jace, well, actually, and several of them, she said that Jace was doing great at his dad's house, that it was what he needed, that he needed his dad in his life, and he was doing great. He was happy. He was going fishing. They were going to eat on the pier, and they was keeping Jace off social media, and that's what they all wanted. And that he was doing so much better. Mind you, it wasn't long. He was there less than 2 weeks. So I don't know from the time that he left, from the time that he left on what was that day? She sent him allegedly on May 3rd, 2025. So I'm not sure when she did all these interviews, but it would have had to be within 12 days. In a 12-day span, she appeared on interviews saying, yes, I sent my son to live with his dad. He's doing great. They're having a great time. Because on the 13th day, he was going back. He was back in North Carolina, staying at his mom's place. So now Janelle is speaking out to say that her son learned his lesson after going to live with his dad, and that it was a fiasco. However, during the 2 weeks that he was gone, she defended this wholeheartedly. Even to this day, she's still defending the fact that, like, she doesn't feel like she made a mistake. So we're going to go over, you guys. They actually put up an article that we're going to read really quickly. And I'm going to let you guys listen to an interview that she did where she said it was her decision to send him because people have come after Janelle to say, you should have never sent him. He didn't know his dad. His dad was a recovering alcoholic. Why would you even send him there? And she said in a response that it was Jace's decision, that Jace begged her, please let me go live with my dad. She says she tried to tell Jace, you don't know your dad. It's not going to be a good situation. And Jace said, please just let me go and find out for myself. So Janelle is telling people that's calling her out on social media that it was Jace that wanted to go. However, in her interviews, she openly admits that she sent him because it was the last option for him. She said he kept running away from home. He wasn't doing good at home. She couldn't send him back to her mom's house because her mom was just too old to deal with it and shouldn't have to deal with it. She couldn't send him to a boys' home because there's a long wait list, and the ones that there's also ones that you have to pay for, but she couldn't afford it. Yeah, she was bragging about how they were bonding and having fishing trips, all lies, except exactly that. So we're going to go over this article. We're going to go over how she's telling people in her comment section that this was Jace's decision, his desire to go live with his dad to see for himself, and how she told, I think it was Us Weekly, that he needed to learn his lesson, that he needed to see for himself who his dad was, and that when he was with his dad, it was a fiasco. So I'm going to read this article really quickly, and then we're going to listen to a few clips, okay? All right, so they actually put up an article, and it says, Janelle Evans continues to defend her decision to send her teenage son, Jace, to Florida back in May to live with his father, Andrew Lewis, despite the arrangement quickly going south, and Jace ultimately returning to Las Vegas to live with Janelle. The Ashley broke the news in early June that 15-year-old Jace was no longer living with his dad in Florida, despite Janelle claiming at the time that the father and son were doing great. The Ashley also told us that Janelle sent Jace to Florida by himself and did not even check out where her son would be living. Jace has met him once. Janelle has not seen him in 15 years, other than maybe once when he came in to see Jace. When Janelle and Andrew dated, she knew he had a problem with alcohol. After they dated, she talked about this. She talked about his addiction with alcohol. This was an issue all throughout Jace's life for the past 15 years. Andrew suffered with an alcohol problem. But after her son ran away and him returning home, rather than saying, let's get on a plane, let's go to Florida, let's meet with your dad, let's see what his life is like, and let's see if he wants to let you live with him for a few weeks, for a few months, whatever. No, she just put this boy on a plane. She went to LAX, put him on a plane by herself, waved goodbye, went home, and took professional photos for her OnlyFans account. And then a few days later, she was having a divorce party at a bar while her son flew by himself to Florida to meet his dad for the second time in his life, to live in a house he's never been in, to live in a state he's never lived in. I don't think they've ever lived there. Yeah, he's never lived in, with a grandmother that he's never met. I don't think he's ever met Andrew's mom. Andrew lives with his mom, and that was another thing that Janelle was saying. Well, it's not just Andrew, it's his mom too. Well, he doesn't know her either, though. Let's continue. So it says, Janelle sent Jace to Florida by himself and did not check out where her son would be living or how he would be living, and instead believed Andrew and his family when they assured her that Andrew was sober and capable of taking care of Jace. Janelle recently fired back at a comment on Facebook from someone criticizing her for sending her son across the country to live with his father, claiming that neither Janelle nor Jace knew Andrew. In response, Janelle insisted that she actually knows Andrew very well and she simply wanted Jace to see the type of person his father was. Now, let this sink in your mind. This is what Janelle is responding to critics in her timeline. She is saying, I know Andrew very well, and Jace needed to find out who he was too. She's basically saying Jace wanted to go. I tried to tell him, but he wouldn't listen. So I let him go find out on his own. That's what she's saying to the people in the comment section. She says, I do know my ex. I know him very well. And in fact, I wanted Jace to learn the type of person his dad was. And Jace was like, Mom, can I please go live with my dad? Let me go live with my dad. And I told Jace, you don't know the type of person he is. And Jace said, just let me go and find out for myself. So he went, and guess what? He found out the type of person Andrew was. The Ashley sources told her a different story regarding how Jace ended up with Andrew. One source told the Ashley in June that Jace didn't even want to go live with Andrew. It was decided by Janelle for him. And I heard that too. I want to say maybe somebody even told me that Jace did not want to go. Anyway, in her recent Facebook video post, Janelle continues to insist that it was Jace who wanted to go live with his long-lost father who had been absent most of his life. Although she admitted that she never went to Florida to check out the living arrangements before sending her son there, she did claim that she checked in with Andrew's family first, who told her Andrew was doing great and was no longer drinking alcohol, had a job, and a fiance. But Janelle says, well, once Jace got there, he found out that Andrew's fiance had broken up with him. I don't know what happened from there. I mean, I just know what Jace told me. I'm not going to share too much, but it was a fiasco, and Jace didn't want to admit it to me, but he finally did, and he's happier being at home, and he learned his lesson. That's all I can say. In an interview with Us Weekly last month, Janelle made similar claims that Jace really needed to see what kind of person his father was, despite both she and her mom, Barbara, allegedly warning him. She said the time had come where he met his dad, and he did it, and he sees his true colors that I've been telling him about all these years. But Jace didn't want to believe me or my mom. Now, here's the thing. We're going to listen to a video, right? This is once again Janelle throwing her son under the bus. Janelle made a bad decision to send her son to live with a stranger. She did not check to make sure he was sober. She did not meet with him herself. She did not go check his living arrangements, where he would be living. And rather than saying, I made a dumb decision, I believed his family when they told me this, I didn't go check it out. And yeah, that's on me. Rather than saying that, instead, she's turning this around on Jace to say, well, no, the only reason I sent him is because he wanted to go. He wanted to go. I've been telling him. I told him, you don't need to be around him. He's not a good person. You know, he's got this and this and this. Rather, Janelle never admits any fault. So we're going to listen to this interview that she did while Jace was living with his dad.
Jace, at one point you made the tough call to have Jace stay with his dad to focus on his health. How did you arrive at that choice, and how's he doing now?
What a lot of people don't realize is they think that it was just one incident at my house and then I shipped him off to his dad's, when really there's so much stuff that's been happening for so many years, and I don't go into detail for his privacy.
Sure.
But there's a lot of physical things that happened. And, you know, my mom, I mean, he's 5'3", I'm 5 feet. First of all, I can't buck up to my son. I can't do nothing to my son. I'm not going to. He's almost a grown man to me, which is crazy to say. Yeah. So, you know, I don't do anything, but he needed his dad, and his dad hasn't been involved in his life since
he needed his dad versus what she's saying to the people calling her out. He wanted his dad. I tried to tell him. Here you hear her say, he needed his dad. So she can't keep her story straight on why he even went. Was it him begging, or she was lost with options and didn't know what else to do and thought, well, he needs his dad in his life. But my thing is, why don't you just say that? Just say, I had nothing else to do. He had ran away multiple times. I am now a single mom. I have no help. I am raising 3 kids. He has mental health issues. He kept running away. I worried he could become a danger to myself, his siblings. And so I felt like the best thing I could do was send him to live with his dad. I made the biggest mistake by not going and checking out the situation. I made the biggest mistake by believing his family. That is on me. It was a big failure. She could say that, and she might gain a little bit of respect from people. But instead, she's throwing this back on her son, blaming her son.
Been a baby, so it was time. And everyone's like, why did you send him to a stranger? But that's his dad. Like, that's his other side of his family. And they've actually been keeping in contact and visiting with each other the past 2 years.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So they've been reconnecting. Yeah. And they've been texting each other. And I know, and I've been monitoring everything. And
another thing, okay. If she says they've been texting and she's been monitoring it, if Andrew was in active addiction with alcohol, I feel like the signs would be there in text messages between him and Jace. If they have been talking a decent amount over the past few months or however long they have allegedly, reconnected and talked. And I feel like if she's reading their messages, or if she's there when he's on a FaceTime call with his dad, like, it could have been possible that she could have picked up on the fact that he was not sober. Possibly. Unless he just, I guess it's possible he hid it really well.
His family says that his dad was an alcoholic, but his family says that his dad is sober now. And that was years ago when I was like 16. So they're doing great. I mean, ever since I sent him there, they sent me pictures of them fishing. He's in Florida, so they went out on the beach. They eat at the pier. Like, they do so many good things, and they're not posting about it, which is great.
Good.
Because
probably because it's not happening. I don't know. I mean, maybe it did. Maybe it did happen. Maybe the first few days that Jace got there, maybe they did go fishing. Maybe they did go eating, but he didn't even last 2 weeks. It was like 12 days. And he had Andrew drive him back to North Carolina.
Told his dad, I said, he needs privacy right now. And my son doesn't even like to post. So he tries to keep his life as private as possible. And I explained that to his dad.
Were you the one that reached out to his dad?
Yes.
Of course you were.
Yes.
Because you want to fix.
Here she is right here. Was you the one that reached out to his dad? Yes. This was not a matter of Jace saying, Dad, I want to live with you. Help me convince Mom. She reached out to the dad. And this guy here, I don't really know who he is. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but he was very much like kissing Janelle's butt. Right here, he's like, yeah, of course you did. Because you wanted to fix the situation. You're a fixer. Like, no, he admits. This guy admits at the beginning of the interview with Janelle that he does not keep up with Team Mom. He does not know anything about Janelle. He did some research and just realized that she's not well-liked or whatever. But he seemed to defend her quite a bit. And it just, this guy was definitely kissing her butt a little bit.
Fix the situation.
Yes.
Because you're a fixer.
I was just kind of like, I'm here in Vegas. I have 3 kids. If my oldest is being so bad that it's not a good situation for my younger 2 kids, I can't have everyone here in the same household. Yeah. We've tried everything. So our hands were completely tied. So I'm like, let's just send him to his dad's. And they're doing great so far. So we'll see. But
I co-parent.
So she said right there, this was her decision. She made the contact. She sent him. Jace ran away either on a Sunday or a Monday, and he returned on a Thursday. Friday, he was on a flight to his dad's. Janelle called and talked to Andrew and Andrew's mom to find out the state of mind Andrew was in, to find out if he was back sober, to find out if he was capable. Allegedly. Allegedly, that's what happened. Do I believe it? Probably not. Probably not. I doubt she even talked to Jace's mama. I mean, to Andrew's mama. She probably just talked to Andrew. And Andrew has been wanting to reconnect with Jace. He's went and done a couple of interviews, like with the Sun. I think he's done like 3 over the past like 3 years. Over the past like 3 years, Andrew has spoken to the Sun on 3 different occasions, like begging to have a connection with Jace, saying, I want to see him. You promised me. Y'all promised me that I could, but I haven't gotten to. Like, please, I know he needs help. I know he's been through a lot lately. Let me help. So Andrew has, 3 times in 16 years is nothing, but it's been in the past couple of years, he has been, speaking out saying he wants a relationship with his son. So I feel like more than likely when Jace ran away the last time, I feel like Janelle probably called Andrew and said, I need your help. Can he move in with you? And he probably just said yes. And she said, okay, I'll put him on a plane. I doubt Janelle even talked to Andrew's mom. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. So here's a few comments that I have seen over the past few days. All right, Sunflower said to Janelle, you said on another video that he had an alcohol problem you are unaware of, Andrew. That's not knowing your ex very well. Watch out. He'll probably run away from there because he's obviously not happy at home. And Janelle said he's had an alcohol problem for years. And like I said, his family claimed he was sober again. So yes, I believed 5 people from his family. Who are these 5 people? And then this makes a lot of sense. But wouldn't you want to go see in person the type of living situation before sending him to learn for himself, whether it was his family or just with him? Like, you could have went, you and him could have went, but rather than sending him to find out for himself, like, you should have went. You could have went by yourself. You could have taken him, but you should have been there to make sure this was a safe situation. Janelle says he was staying with his grandmother, not solely his father. But some moms will make excuses for their kids. And I'm not saying that's for sure what he did. It could be possible that Andrew has hidden the fact that he has relapsed on alcohol and he can hide it well. Maybe that's a possibility. Or it could be that once they found out Janelle was going to allow Jace to come live with them, she knew that he was still on alcohol or drinking alcohol again, but she just wanted to have her grandson there. She just wanted to meet him and have a relationship with him. So she said, no, he's fine. Everything's great. Yeah, send him. Crystal says, I guess lesson learned, each to their own. I couldn't send my child to go test out a living situation without seeing for myself. And Janelle says, it was his family, not strangers. I'm sorry, but family or not, if you don't see them, but once in your life in 15 years, they are strangers. I don't know what the definition of strangers is to Janelle, but Andrew and his mother were, in fact, strangers to Jace. They were. Lorraine says, I did the same thing. Mine were back after 8 weeks. They do have to see things with their own eyes. And Janelle says, exactly. Everyone thinks they know how they would deal with the situation, but they truly have no idea what it's like. And here's the thing. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm sure Janelle trying to raise Jace, especially on her own, is really difficult considering he does deal with, ODD, ADHD. She doesn't, medicate him. She allows him to smoke weed. And I don't think that really helps his condition. But yeah, I don't think it's easy. I'm sure it is very difficult. But Janelle doesn't do anything to help. She just makes matters worse, I feel like. But why didn't you go see for yourself before sending him? Because he went to live with his father's family, not solely his father. So he don't know his father's family either. His father, he's met once. His grandmother, I don't think he ever did. Okay, now here's something that's also I saw that I wanted to share with you guys. And this doesn't have anything to do with Jace or the Janelle situation, but Janelle's friend Tori is going to be moving to Las Vegas with her. And Tori posted this, cannot wait to move to Vegas soon with my best friend. Big changes are about to happen, and I couldn't be more grateful. And Janelle said, let's do this. And then Cortland said, don't forget about me too, which is so funny because Janelle apparently has blocked Cortland on several. She said, isn't this the 100th account that you've made that I've blocked? Better yet, remember what you did to me? Go away. And then somebody tagged Cortland and said, in your dreams. So I guess maybe Cortland saw that Janelle was hanging out with her other ex. What was his name? Gary. Janelle reconnected with Gary not too long ago and was hanging out with Gary. So, and it was like kind of like a big deal. People were talking about it, posting about it. So I don't know if Cortland thinks maybe I can jump in there and get some clout off this or whatever. I don't know, because last I heard Cortland was engaged. So I really don't know why he would want to be involved in this, or if maybe he's not engaged anymore. I don't know. But either way, Tori is moving in with Janelle. And I'm sure Janelle probably does need a little help with 3 kids in Vegas, especially with Jace in the condition that he's in. Jace has started posting a little bit more on social media, and he posted this the other day. He says he's going to start posting more on his page. So he posted this the other day. He says, I'm going to try to post more once I get my bike back. And then up there, it's lyrics to a song. I look at you and you said, oh. And then here's another one. 15 years old. He'll be 16 next month. And it's a picture just with the lyrics of a song. And it says, I know she ain't got to say that line. I'm riding around the city and she's blowing up my phone. I don't know if the song says, I know she want to fight. Oh, no, never mind. It's not fight. I know she wants to bump uglies. She ain't got to say that line. I'm riding around the city and she's blowing up my phone. So those lyrics on this photo of him letting us all know we are number 1. Looks like maybe there might be a little bit of smoke that just passed through. So yeah, he's going to start posting more. There he is. Now, Janelle says he wanted to go live with his dad and it just didn't work out. She tried to warn him, when in reality, according to what she's also said, is that her hands were tied. There was no other options. There were no other options. There you go. And she sent him because she needed his dad's help. He needed a man in his life. He needed, discipline, or, she needed help. So she sent him. For some reason, she just can't admit that she messed up by not double checking. And now she is throwing him under the bus to say it's all his fault. He has a dirt bike. So I think he could be talking about a regular bicycle. I don't know. But he's always posting about dirt bikes and about getting his bike back. So I assumed he was talking about, like a dirt bike, but it could be. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see in time. Whenever he gets it back, they'll probably post a picture of it or maybe a video of him riding it. I don't know. But yeah, you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. She says it was a fiasco because Andrew was not sober. And rather than just saying, yeah, you guys made a bad decision, she's blaming it on him. So you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you guys shocked by that? I'm not. Janelle never takes accountability for herself. She will never say she messed up. She will never say she made a bad decision. So I'm not shocked to see her throw Jace under the bus. This is not the first time she has thrown her son under the bus. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you like this on your way out. It helps tell YouTube that you guys enjoyed the video and they'll push it out more. Also, you guys don't forget to go over to Fatal Files with Elle. Subscribe to me over there. I will be trying to post more content on there as well. We're trying to get that. Actually, we've been trying to get that page back above board. And I just got the email this morning that I can join the partner program for my true crime channel. So we will start trying to post more on there as well. You can find me everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. I'm everywhere, you guys. And I have my 2 YouTube channels you guys can follow. Also, don't forget, Rose Forever is in the comment section below, or it's in the description section below. Rose Forever, where you can get the bouquet of roses that last well over a year. Real roses. They are beautiful for offices. I posted several pictures of the ones that I have in my house on my Facebook page. I have the candles, and I have probably 6 or 7 arrangements at this point. Love them. If you want to check out the site, the link is in the description box. Also, with a discount code, you can use code LB20. That's ELLEB 20 for $20 off your order. So you guys go check it out. Leave me your thoughts, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.